And this is the whole concept of on earth is, the flawed humanity concept, the whole concept that we were made sinners, the Christian concept that we were made sinners and we need somebody to redeem us from being made sinners. Well, that basically suggests that God made you as a sinner. Well, if God made you as a sinner, God's not perfect anymore. And therefore God's not perfect in love anymore. Because if he was perfect in love, he certainly wouldn't made you a sinner. He only made the potential for you to sin by giving you the gift of will. But that was your gift, and therefore any sin you engage is your sin. It's like me giving you a knife to cut some bread and you deciding you're going to stab yourself with the thing or stab someone else with it. Now, that wasn't my intention of how you use the knife, but it is your choice how you use your knife. And it's exactly the same with this gift of will. So we need to understand that sin is not an automatic result of pain. Sin requires the use of our will. Does that make sense to you, Chris? Yeah. It requires the use of our will. And therefore not sinning requires the use of our will in the opposite direction. It requires the use of our will to love. And that's why the very first presentation we did the previous week we did was all about developing my will to love. Basically what it's saying or suggesting to you is if you develop your will to love, you will no longer desire to sin. Right? The addictions cause your desire to sin. And if you develop your will to love, you'll no longer want to desire sin. And that can happen whether you have pain or not. So you've got to be very careful thinking that all of your sin is a result of pain that you have, because it's definitely not. Yeah. I know many people have had extreme amounts of personal pain, and yet they've resisted sinning in the way that others who have had the same amount of pain have sinned. Right? So it is very much to do with your choice, very much to do with that will, the exercise of your will. All right?